Hi everyone, we back again. As we mentioned before, we started some of series to do a comparison between Azure service and some of component, and we already complete two sessions. Today we do a very important session between Azure Front Door and Azure Traffic Manager. The last session we talk about Azure, the different differentiation between Azure Front Door and Application Gateway as a web load balance. So this is a good point. But the questionnaire here, we can compare it between Azure Front Door and Azure Traffic Manager because some of questions coming. Okay, you do a comparison between Azure Front Door and Azure Application Gateway because both as WAF and as we mentioned the secret where we can apply the WAF. And here we can compare it or not. So we can compare it because Azure service, Azure front door service can be compared to Azure Traffic Manager in way this also provide global HTTP load balance to distribute traffic across different Azure regions and the cloud provider or even with your on-premise. Both Azure Traffic Managers and Azure Front Door, it supported two things: multi-region redundancy and closed region routing. What does that mean? So, for multiple region redundancy, if one region go down and traffic route to the closed region without any interruption, so it's supported for multi-region redundancy, and also close or closed regions routing. Uh, what that mean? It's traffic is automatically routed to the closest or closest region. So supported two things as we mentioned, multi geo redundancy and closed regions routing. So we can compare it because it's both of them, Azure Front Door and Azure Traffic Manager, provided global HTTP load balance. So how we can compare it here between Azure Front Door and Azure Traffic Manager. Azure Front Door, we need to ask it because it's use cases. We need to provide some service or some features or not. So Azure Front Door provide TLS protocol terminations, but Azure Traffic Manager doesn't provide these features. But we ask yourself, Azure Front Door provide TLS protocol termination, SSS offload. What does that mean? It means Azure Front Door take a load off from the web front end and which don't have to encrypt or decrypt the request. Um, Also provide application layer process. So these new features, it's a provide application layer process because some we have some of applications and we need some of application layer processing. We need to use it Azure Front Door, but Azure Traffic Manager doesn't have these features. And also we have to compare it. It's good and very good for performance. So user will experience better performance than Traffic Manager as Azure Front Door use Anycast um, and which provide low latency, therapy providing high performance. And we mentioned this point, if you remember, in the last session. And also traffic manager don't has better performance, and we have to compare it like that between its if provide very good performance or it's normal performance, or we can see a good performance. But we Azure Front Door provide a good experience for better performance because uh, use it Anycast split with TCP, and also provide WAF features for your applications to provide a security from DDoS attacks. But Azure Traffic Manager don't have this service, so it's a load balancing, routing as a Azure Front Door, and also provide some of features related to security to provide for DDoS attacks. Here is a good point coming for we can perform URL rewriting in Azure Front Door, but in Traffic Manager don't have. So we can rewrite URL in Azure Front Door, but in Azure Traffic Manager we can do, we can it's not applicable to do that. So let's go with level 2 reverse proxy. Azure Front Door uses reverse proxy, which provide a faster failover support. But the traffic manager relies on DNS lookup for network routing, which is a good point to differentiate here, because the which I mentioned before for some of features in Azure Front Door and it doesn't have in Azure Traffic Managers. Okay, we can understand that. So if we have some of scenario for better performance of TLS applications or protocol, or we need some of application layer process or like that, okay, we can we have it in Azure Front Door, but we don't have it Traffic Manager. But here in reverse proxy, we have to differentiate, because Traffic Manager it relies on DNS lookup, and also Azure Front Door uses reverse proxy, which provide faster failover support. Also for caching, Azure Front Door caches or cache the static content only. We can just, if you have some of static content, we Azure Front Door we can caching, but for caching mechanism is available in Traffic Manager. It's right or not? I think it's not right, because Azure Traffic Manager don't have caching in Traffic Manager, because actually it's very confused. Some of customer I work with them, he can insist Azure Traffic Manager have some of caching mechanism, but I just try to explain in our solutions in Azure Traffic Manager don't have this features or these benefits. It's just available in Azure Front Door, but as static content. So we need just to recap between, as you see, traffic managers and Azure Front Door. So let's recap here. As we mentioned in the first, Azure Front Door and Traffic Manager cross regions redirection and availability. Okay, first one, SSL offloading. It's available in Azure Front Door. It's not available in Traffic Manager. Use reverse proxy in Azure Front Door. In Traffic Manager, we use a DNS lookup. Cache content or cache static content in Azure Front Door. No caching available in Traffic Managers. In Azure Front Door, we use it anycast protocol with a split TCP. Traffic Manager doesn't have this service or this feature. Azure Front Door provide WAF features, as we mentioned in last sessions when we compared it with WAF application gateway, but Traffic Managers don't have these features. I think we complete these sessions, and I hope it's useful. If you have any suggestion or recommendation, please put your comment and below on the video. And the next session would be also based on comparison between two servers. And I hope it's useful again. Thank you for attending. Thank you.